Thank you, Jeff, and thanks to all of you for being here. The Global Conservation Act, it's H.R. 4959. This bill is international in scope. It is bipartisan within this Congress at a time when there's a lot of headbutting going on here politically. This has brought a number of people together. It is also smart. It is in our economic interest, our strategic interest. We have people on this bill from not only both sides of the aisle, but people on our Foreign Affairs Committee to see the diplomatic and development aspects of this, people involved in our defense and national security. This touches so many elements, and it has brought a lot of us together here today. I particularly want to thank my colleagues that are lead co-sponsors on the bill. Already introduced Representative Jeff Fortenberry, Norm Dix, also Dave Reichert. I think we have over 25 co-sponsors on the bill. My request to each of you here, if you have an opportunity to reach out to other members to join in this effort, we want to continue to build momentum with co-sponsors on the bill. We are also honored to have some very special guests with us here today. Dr. Jane Goodall, I had the honor to meet her earlier before this event. We certainly have all followed your amazing work. You inspired many of us in this room to do more, to protect all the inhabitants of this earth. Thank you so much for being here and the work you do. And Don Cheadle, we've all followed your amazing work on the screen and also to help people around this planet. Your work has been entertaining, inspiring, thought-provoking, and especially I'm proud of the fact of your Missouri roots. Being a fellow Missourian, we're very happy to have you here. The bill we've come to talk about today couldn't be more critical or more timely. While all the trends are pointing in the wrong direction on forest, coral reefs, species, and most other ecosystems, the U.S. does not have a clear strategy on how it's going to work with other countries to help reverse these trends. And with no strategy of our own, there's no way the U.S. can play the key role it has always played in leading to fix key global problems. And the American people expect us to lead. While most of this natural resource degradation takes place in other countries, it affects all of us directly. Last month, the Alliance for Global Conservation brought to Congress a group of survivors of cancer, diabetes, and heart disease. I met with several of them in my office. Each of their lives was saved by a pharmaceutical that had an active ingredient that had come from a rainforest or a coral reef or some plant or animal species in the wild. And this isn't just a few drugs helping a few people. Studies show, as you heard from Jeff, half of all new drugs that are developed have an active ingredient derived from nature. 70% of all anti-cancer drugs derived from nature. That especially hits home for me, having a sister that's a cancer survivor. And another study showed that the destruction of habitat and the losses of species means the loss of one new marketable drug every 2 years. The saddest part is that with so few species and substances from nature scientifically cataloged, we have no idea what we're losing and how many lives could be saved or improved. And it's not just our health. Others here today will talk about links to our security and poverty around the world and how conservation plays a role in our ability for some of our industries to compete. Our logging, fishing, mining industries lose hundreds of millions of dollars every year because they're forced to compete with foreign countries, undercutting their prices because they are fishing, logging, or mining illegally, often in protected areas of the world where they shouldn't be. The Global Conservation Act will help on all of these fronts. It asks the U.S. government to develop a conservation strategy that makes sense, with benchmarks and goals to identify a coordinator in the executive branch for all of our conservation activities, and to reach out to other donor nations to help us to implement this strategy. The U.S. cannot and should not be expected to take this global challenge alone. Europe, Japan, India, China, Brazil, and others must all step up to the plate. This legislation is long overdue. It deserves the broad support we've seen come together. Thank you for being part of this coming together, for building the momentum to get this done, and for our country to take the leadership role it should on this critical issue. Thank you very much. And I'm going to turn it back to Jeff.